Welcome to our video tutorial on how to construct a reflection. In order to construct a reflection, we have to fall back on this construction right here. We want to construct a line that goes through the given point perpendicular to a given line. So the first thing we do is we take our compass, point of the compass at the point, and we just make an arc that crosses that line segment twice. Then we think about really emphasizing those points, and we want the perpendicular bisector of the portion between those two dots. In order to get that, we take our compass, we put the point of our compass at one of those points, open more than halfway, we make our one arc, we make our one arc, and then we keep the arc the same size, move the point to the other end point, and we make the other arc. Where those two arcs intersect, we connect up those points. Now notice it should go through the point we originally had. That's not surprising, that's what we wanted. And the line should also appear to be perpendicular to our given line. So if you wanted to shortcut it a little bit, you really only need to draw this portion down here, take that intersection point, and connect it up with the original point. But now let us do our reflection. So here we want to reflect triangle DEF across line N. Let's start with point D. We're going to pretend that all we see is point D and line N. So we put the point of our compass at D, we open our compass, and we make an arc that crosses line N twice. Then we want the perpendicular bisector of that line segment. So I'll put the point of my compass over here at the one spot. Now we could make the entire arc like I just did, but we know it's going to go through point D. So we really only have to make the part down here. Then we're going to move the point of our compass to this other end point. And again, we could make the entire arc on top and bottom, but we only need to make the part down below. We will take our line with the ruler, connect up that point with point D, and notice we get the perpendicular line that goes through point D. Now you might need to extend this more than what we drew. So if that's the case, you will have to take your ruler and extend it. Further, because the last thing we have to do is we have to take our compass, put the point of our compass right at that intersection point, put the pencil tip over here on D, and then we need to spin this around to the other side to figure out where the new point D is going to fall. So we'll just spin it around here. There's the new point D where those intersect, and I'm just going to label that on our picture right here. That is our new point D. Put the D prime or D apostrophe. Now the picture can get a little bit cluttered, so try your best to follow along as we go to point E. Pencil tip on E, we need to make an arc that crosses line N twice, and then we need the perpendicular bisector of that portion in red. But remember, we only really need to draw the one side of it. You can draw the whole thing, but we only need to draw the one side of it. So I'm going to open more than halfway, but I'm only going to draw the portion down here to help me stay organized. There's the one arc. I move the point to the other point formed by our arc, make the second arc. Then I'm going to take my ruler, it goes through point E, go through the center of the point, make sure that you're going through the center of the point, and then we're going down through that. It should appear to be perpendicular. And last but not least, we will take our compass, point of the compass at that intersection point, pencil tip up here, point of the compass at the intersection point, pencil tip over here at E, and then we will spin this around. We just want to find where the new point E is going to be. Here it is down here, I'll label it. We'll put the new point E with the apostrophe, and that is point E prime. Last but not least is F. So point of the compass at F, we need to make an arc that crosses line N twice. There it is. Then we need its perpendicular bisector, so I'll put the point at one point, make the one arc, move the point to the other point, make the second arc. Where those two arcs intersect, That's what we're going to connect with point F. So point F down through there. Look, we got the perpendicular. Last but not least, we take our compass, put the point of the compass at the intersection, put the pencil tip on F, spin it around, and where that intersects is our new point F. Right here. Label it as F prime. Now we take our ruler, connect D prime to E prime, E prime to F prime, and F prime to D prime. And the last thing that some people like to do in order to see this better, shade in the triangle. So here was our original triangle, shading it in. And here is our new reflected triangle DEF. Notice it's got the primes as its lettering, D prime, E prime, F prime. But then it's a little bit easier to see with all the markings that we have, in fact, completed and constructed a reflection.